Hello, Riverwood. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. In the previous video, we explored the opening verses of Philippians chapter 2, where Paul urges the believers in Philippi to pursue unity and humility by putting others first. Now, as Paul continues, he points to Christ as the ultimate example of being selfless. In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus, who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. These verses offer a profound and rich portrait of Christ's love for us, a love so deep that he surrendered everything for our sake. Christ held all the glory of God. John's Gospel declares him as both God and Creator, while Paul, Peter, and the writer of Hebrews affirm his equality with God. And Jesus himself speaks to this truth. The beautiful thing about these verses in Philippians is how Paul describes what Jesus did with that equality. He gave it up. He left heaven and put on flesh. The NIV says that he made himself nothing. Other versions say he emptied himself, or he gave up everything. Simple words, right? But the implication of these words change all eternity for us. Paul emphasizes that Christ's humility led to the cross. But it's also important to remember that it led him to wash the dirty feet of his apostles and to touch lepers and to patiently teach his disciples and to constantly put others before himself. Christ's willingness to humble himself, his willingness to empty himself, his willingness to obey and submit to his Father, opens the way for us to come into a relationship with God, something that no other sacrifice could achieve. I encourage each of us to not only live our lives in a way that glorifies Christ's gift, but to also follow his example in our willingness to humble ourselves and to serve others. While we may not be called on to die on a cross, we can find moments to kneel and wash someone's feet. I pray that your day is full of blessings.